This is Alexander Playtime Williams of PlayTimeCares.com.
What's up, world? This is Alexander Playtime Woods of PlayTimeCares.com coming with you with the SmackDown recap from December 10th, 2015. This one was in Jacksonville, Florida. You had your normal commentators, Booker T, Jerry the King Lawler, both Hall of Famers, and Rich Brandon. Okay, it started off with Roman Reigns versus Alberto Del Rio. Of course, Roman Reigns had his crew, which Booker T later called the Family, which is Dean Ambrose and the Usos. And of course, Del Rio had his crew, which is the League of Nations, which is, of course, Del Rio and Rusev and Sheamus and King Barrett. So they did a Raw recap of Del Rio attacking Jack Swagger after his match with Stardust, which led me to believe that Jack Swagger is going to either do something this match or he's going to do something at the TLC match that's just out of character. But you had back and forth action with this match. It was pretty decent. No clear-cut advantage at the beginning. And then both guys was given a lot of flashy moves and whatnot. Crowd was semi-sort of into it. And then things got out of hand, and both squads just start beefing. So it actually ended up being no contest. Some people would have probably called it a double disqualification, but it's a no contest match. About a 2 out of 4. Nothing real edgy happening on that one. The next match you had was Tyler Breeze, of course, with Summer Rae, versus Dolph Ziggler. This is one of those feuds that actually the WWE writers, in my opinion, kind of dropped the ball on. Tyler Breeze had excellent, entrance into the main stage of the WWE, leaving NXT and coming on the main stage. And they just made it seem like Tyler Breeze and, Dolph Ziggler had some long-standing feud, and they just trying to knock off, cobwebs off of each other on a long-standing feud. And this thing just started a couple of weeks ago. Crazy, but, they didn't do any real upbuild of it or anything. But this is like the third time wrestling each other since Tyler Breeze came in a couple of weeks ago. So, I mean, they showed that Tyler Breeze beat Dolph Ziggler the first time they wrestled. So they showed 2 weeks ago to Raw where Dolph Ziggler finally beat Tyler Breeze. Now it's kind of like the rubber band match in this one, and Tyler Breeze did smart offense. He kept concentrating on that injured left knee of Dolph Ziggler the whole time. And Dolph Ziggler was able to kind of kick him outside the ring over the ropes. And Tyler Breeze jumped back in the ring and got kicked in the face, got that super kick. And Dolph Ziggler got a pin victory. Just a regular match. I mean, it was a 2. They didn't really do anything to really hype it up. I mean, you have a pay-per-view a couple of days. You got the TLC pay-per-view Sunday. It's a couple of days away. You could have made these two just rip each other heads off and have something excellent for them to do at the TLC, but I guess. So then you had a Raw recap of 2 weeks ago where Rusev bringing Lana back into the mix. Ever since TMZ, kind of destroyed the WWE storyline and showed that, Rusev and Lana really wasn't beefing, but they were actually engaged. So Rusev brought kind of Lana back in after her injury and all this type of stuff. And it's like, okay, it's the love of my life, yada, 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 which of course Ryback came and interfered, was like, look, man, nobody don't want to hear this lovey-dovey stuff, man. Feed me more. I'm hungry for a match, which Rusev, did actually give him a match, and Ryback threw Rusev into the steel steps, which Lana happened to be really close on the other side. It pops up in her leg. Boom. She's hurt. Rusev decides that the match wasn't as important as his fiance, so he gets counted out. So now you have this match here, and they want, you have the next match where it was a rematch of it, and that was that Thursday? Was that last Thursday? Well, whatever day it was, it could have been Monday. All this is starting to be one big thing. Of course, they had a rematch, and this time Lana purposely got in the way of Ryback because Rusev was running around the ring. She gets knocked over. Ryback concerned, and she acting like her ankle got rolled, and Rusev pretty much attacked him and kind of knocked him out. Put him in that modified camel clutch called the Accolade and made him pass out. So you had this match, which was the New Day versus the Lucha Dragons. This time they didn't go with the big gun. It wasn't Big E wrestling. It was Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus the Lucha Dragons. And Kofi Kingston and I believe that was Kalisto. Kalisto, them two, they actually did a good display of skills. If you've been keeping up with what I've been asking, they need to bring back that cruiserweight division. Man, it's such impressive ring work. They're really ring technicians when you let them lightweights do what they do and, fly around the ring. They started off with a good display of skills. And the Lucha Dragons actually ended up with an early advantage. And then, the New Day eventually took control and they punishing the Lucha Dragons. And Xavier Woods just ended up getting caught by like a little super kick. And then Kalisto did his little cool, his cool finishing move where he grabbed a person kind of like in a Stone Cold Stunner, but flip over them and land on his butt and drive their head into the mat. Love that move. So, the Lucha Dragons end up getting a pin victory. About a 2. Every match was about a 2. I'm not going to even say that again. Every match was pretty much average. I'm actually surprised that this close to a pay-per-view that they even gave you this quality of match, because usually they're trying to save the talent, and especially with Seth Rollins being injured so close, that's still recent history. I'm surprised that they actually gave the quality of SmackDown that they did so close to this pay-per-view. So the next thing they did was a Raw recap of Dean Ambrose throwing that popcorn in a cold drink. Oh, New Orleans, we say cold drink. Y'all say soda or pop or whatever it is, wherever you viewing, the carbonated beverage. Dean Ambrose threw that in the face of Kevin Owens, then walked out the ring. So, of course, the next thing is the contract signing for the Intercontinental Championship, which Kevin Owens hold. And Dean Ambrose come to the ring. And, of course, Kevin Owens doesn't come to the ring. You have his lawyer come in the ring and pretty much say, look, he says it's unsafe work condition. Kevin Owens not showing up. Dean Ambrose is disgusted about that. He said, man, we supposed to fight and all this type of stuff. This is what contract signing is about, whatever. And sure enough, Kevin Owens pop up from out of nowhere, and him and Dean Ambrose start fighting. And, Kevin Owens goes in the ring, and Dean Ambrose goes behind him, and Kevin Owens throws his lawyer in the way of Dean Ambrose. Boom. He gets out the way and say, hey, we're going to handle it Sunday. So Dean Ambrose went ahead and put the dirty deeds, his DDT, boom, on a lawyer, signed the contract, slammed it down. It is what it is. Next match you had was the Ascension versus Ryback. And I like the way that the Ascension actually used blind tags to kind of throw Ryback off balance. But, man, they made the Ascensions kind of like chokes, man. The Ryback ran through both of them boys in maybe like 2.5, 3 minutes. I was there. You don't do the Ascension like that, man. They're kind of a decent tag team. You ain't got to play them like that, WWE writers. Rusev and Lana was actually sitting ringside watching the match. So after Ryback made quick work of the Ascension, Ryback went and kind of got the staring contest with Rusev, and Rusev put Lana in between both of them and then walked away. And then they did a actual Raw recap of the Dudley Boys coming out with Tommy Dreamer when you had Bray Wyatt in the League of Nations in the ring. And Bray like, look, man, shut up, man. Y'all don't even have a dog in this fight. Y'all outmanned, y'all outarmed, you know what I'm saying? Y'all be quiet. And then the Dudley Boys sit there and introduce one of the old WWE, the ECW greats, Rhino, into the mix, to get Team 3D and Tommy Dreamer some help to form Team Extreme. And, of course, they showed that Tommy Dreamer actually eliminate the Wyatt family first in that little 16-man tag team elimination match that they had by delivering a DDT to Eric Rowan. And then they showed later on that night that Bray Wyatt punished Tommy Dreamer by making him fight Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman pick him up and put him in that little submission hold and, choking him out, submitting him. So they did that entire recap. Next match was Becky Lynch versus Paige. And of course, they did a Raw recap of Paige slapping Ric Flair in the face, in which Ric Flair, told Charlotte to go ahead and get her. Charlotte attack Paige. Paige to the run to the back. So Paige and Becky Lynch had some back and forth action until they allow Becky Lynch to actually showcase a lot of cool little moves and whatnot, and it was going really strong for Becky Lynch until both of them ran into each other with a clothesline. They both went down. Next thing you know, Charlotte music hits, and she comes out to the ring, and of course Paige is distracted and all that type of stuff. Becky Lynch took advantage of her, put her in that disarmor, almost had her sitting on her back, almost had her arm broken. Paige didn't have had no choice but to go ahead and tap that one out. So Becky Lynch got that submission victory. Then they did a recap of what happened between Sheamus and Roman Reigns, which truly started at the Survivor Series pay-per-view, the last pay-per-view, when he cashed in his Money in the Bank contract and beat Roman Reigns in 5 minutes and 15 seconds. So they kind of did a like a montage of everything that happened that led up to what we have, which eventually is going to be the TLC match between them this Sunday. So then because they had a no contest match to start the program. Then you have Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and the Usos, which is I said Booker T dubbed the family. The family versus the League of Nations, which of course is Alberto Del Rio, the Mex American or the U.S. champ. You have Sheamus, who's a world heavyweight champion. You have who I heard him mention. You have King Barrett, and then you have Rusev. Both teams kind of went at each other, and the league got the early advantage. And then the Uso, one of the Usos, I think it was Jimmy, he was getting whooped from pillar to post, just from post to post to post until Roman Reigns went and cheated and attacked Sheamus unnecessarily. I mean, he wasn't warned. He just skipped it and just let the referee yell at him. And then Dean Ambrose got tagged in because of that, and he was going nuts on everybody until King Barrett actually cheated by grabbing his legs when he was going for one of his moves and making him fall. And Dean Ambrose eventually he fought his way to being able to tag Roman Reigns, and because Roman Reigns and Sheamus are the main characters of this TLC, they had to make Roman Reigns shine. So Roman Reigns pretty much ended it. He ended up having Rusev in a match and end up boom spearing him. 1, 2, 3. You got that pin victory over Rusev, the family. 8-1. So that was pretty much it. Not a bad SmackDown, just nothing spectacular. I mean, it is what it is. The pay-per-view is a couple of days away. What do you expect? They're not going to really risk people really getting injured. They didn't go full speed. You can kind of tell on this one, but it was worth watching anyway. Hey, follow me on everything. Playtime Cares. It is what it is. Hashtag capital P, capital T, capital C, ARES. PT Cares. Look me up. That's what I always put on my stuff. I try to remember to put that on everything. It is what it is. Give me your input. Let me know what you think. Give me thumbs up. Give me thumbs down. If you want to help me, let me know how it is. I can get a more professional look on my stuff. Whatever. Just whatever. Let's just talk. Playtime out, baby.